Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Cinefiles TV Preview. This week we're going to go into Ironman 3, where it's going to kick off Phase 2 of Marvel Cinematic Universe. What do you think? We're going to run it down for you.
Mr. Stark, ready for a lesson?
Go! There's something I want to say to the Mandarin.
You're not a man. You're nothing more than a maniac.
You know what's going to happen to you, right? It's just you and me.
You'll never see me coming.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Cinefiles TV, our preview show for Ironman 3. I'm Totsky.
I'm Tito.
I'm Ishcake.
I'm Steve.
Guys, who's excited? Because I'm absolutely pumped. I want to see a show of hands. Show of hands, please. Because,
I'm okay.
Phase 2. Avengers was such a great way. It was a great movie, but a great way to end a period of 5 flicks. Like, it was a great way to end an arc, right? And I can't wait to see how this continues.
It's going to be, it's like we talked about in the podcast before, it's going to be one of those situations where it's actually Marvel taking a page out of their own comic books and making sort of arcs, like the yearly arcs that we talked about, how all these different characters come together. It's now sort of not a year, but they've got the same sort of style in mind, where they've got interweaving stories throughout these movies, 5 at a time, and then a big culmination. Then they should give it to Joss Whedon as well again. But like, they're doing this now, Phase 2.
Yeah, and one thing I'm really excited about is the fact that they've got a really talented director, and as I was mentioning,
Shane Black
is directing Iron Man 3, the dark times. But essentially, the reason that Robert Downey Jr. got cast as Iron Man was because Jon Favreau saw Robert Downey Jr. in Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, and he's like, this guy would be awesome as our Tony Stark. And it's interesting, it's like you said, they're really orchestrating these movies now very much like a comic book arc, where there's this interweaving plot line that's leading to the big Avengers event.
Hold on.
Going into Iron Man 3, what I really am excited for this movie is it's gritty. Like, look at these trailers. You got slower tones. You got a fucking massive destruction. That was the first trailer, the massive destruction of the mansion, and it being pulled down by that huge cement piece, right? Like Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, has everyone seen it? Like, we know how it works. Shane Black, of course, Shane Black movie. He's dragging the fucking Iron Man suit across the snow. Very good allusion to that one that I think me and Tito were discussing, is that the Iron Man suit was always carrying him. Now he's got to carry the Iron Man suit.
I'm excited for the new players coming in. Like, I'm excited to see Ben Kingsley. I'm excited to see Guy Pearce. I'm excited to see Rebecca Hall. Like, all these different new players. Because I thought that despite a lot of people arguing that Iron Man 2 is kind of the womp in the, the this boom this,
yeah,
boom in the entire first arc because of all the explanations, I think that Hammer was amazing. Like, he's such a funny character, and to kind of owned like the plucky bad guy comedy relief of the entire movie. So I'm excited to see for how that's going to mix up. And with the new director and everything, I think it could go in a dark direction, like you were saying, Todd. That we could see kind of the inner struggle of Tony Stark a little bit more, because there's a one line that I wanted to say from Avengers that Captain America says to him. He's got a funny retort, but he still has a point. Captain America's like, take the suit off you. What are you? Mm-hmm. And I think we're going to find out that Tony Stark has to really discover what is he's made of. And is he a hero because he's got the suit, or does the suit just make him do heroic stuff?
Yep.
Like, as well as kind of asshole stuff, as we've seen. He breaks a lot of shit and doesn't really care about it.
Mr. President, only 2 lessons remain.
I intend to finish this before Christmas morning.
Meet Thomas Richards. Good strong name, good strong job. Thomas here is an accountant for the Roxxon Oil Corporation. And I'm sure he's a really good guy. I'm gonna shoot him in the head.
I believe that maybe the Mandarin, which incidentally is an awesome callback to the first movie, because the first
10
movie,
rings.
Exactly, you got and I love this shit, right? Like, this is exactly why I think Dark Knight Rises is underrated as probably one of the is probably the best Batman movie as opposed to the Dark Knight, because we've had that argument before, but. Going back to the 10 Rings, just like Ra's al Ghul in the League of Shadows, you're coming full circle, right? It's basically he's being put in the same situation as he was in the first movie. He's being disarmed. He's got to use his intelligence, and that is his superpower. It's not the suit; it's his brain. Like, that is Tony Stark at his best, and it's why he relates to characters like Banner, etc. Right? So I'm really excited for that, and I believe that the Mandarin's link to the Extremis is exactly that. I personally think that the Mandarin is a super soldier. I think probably a failed super soldier that for whatever reason he didn't mesh, or he didn't take orders, etc. I mean, it's just like they said about the formula, right? It makes good great, it makes bad worse, right?
Yeah.
So for all we know, he could be, you know.
You should have said that in the German accent.
The men. The serum amplifies everything that is inside. So good becomes great. Bad becomes worse.
I guess what I'm most excited for is not actually the Tony Stark kind of deal, but I'm more excited about what Pepper's going to be up to. Did you see? There's like one scene where she's like not really wearing anything at all.
The fire behind her.
I'm like, what is up with that? No, but there's came home the other day and walked in, and there was a behind the scenes Iron Man thing, and I'm like, shut that shit off right now. Like, I cannot watch this. But what I did catch was her in the suit leaning over Tony and saying, I saved you first, or whatever the line was, and I was like,
goosebumps.
Holy moly. So she's been smacked around, she's falling out of this mansion that's been blown off the face of a cliff, and she's wearing this suit. Like, I really think that their relationship dynamic has gone like
She
a
gets
little bit, you know,
more than
like,
12% of a moment now.
Yeah, more than 12%. She's looking
She
for
owned that scene in Avengers, like in those shorts.
Oh yeah. She's smoking hot, and I mean, like, it Avengers foreshadowed the way that things were going to go with Tony and Pepper as well, because she's on the plane and she's watching the events that were unfolding, and you know, like, Jarvis asks him, he's like, would you like me to call Miss Potts, right? And he's like, yeah, go ahead, kind of thing. But you could tell he really wanted her to pick up the phone, and she wasn't there when he needed him, so he's like, shit.
I hope I can protect the one thing I can't live without. That's you.
I got you.
Thanks again for listening to Cinephiles. Let us know what you think is going to be in the Iron Man 3 movie in the comments below. Make sure you like the video.
And we do a podcast, as you can see on my jersey, at ymanpodcast.com. Lots of Cinephile stuff. You hear us chat more about the summer movies, and you just hear us talk about a lot of fun shit, so check it out.
We've also got the Facebook page, facebook.com/YMMPodcast, twitter.com/YMMPodcast, and you can get in touch with us at show@YMMPodcast.com.
And don't forget to subscribe. I'm going to do this thing.
Are we doing this thing? Follow the Iron Man head.
Yeah.
It's in the Iron Man head. Subscribe to that.
Subscribe.
So, for Cinephiles, I am Tito.
You just took my bit.
Well, someone had to do it.
For this episode of Cinephiles TV, I'm Todsky.
I'm Tito.
This is a really tiny head. I'm Ash Cake.
I'm Steve.
Hey, let's do that one more time.
Don't.
Just press the button. There's a button where it says, I am Iron Man. Just hit, no, it's on the right side. Steve. There you go. Okay, next one's Iron Man. Okay, ready? All right, we're going to close this off. For this edition of Cinephiles TV, I'm Todsky.
I'm Tito. I'm keeping this entire clip. Darth Vader.
Okay, Iron Man's next. Keep it to next.
Iron Man is not next.
Iron Man's next. I'm Todsky.
I'm Tito.
It's R2-D2. What is going on?
My spidey sense is tingling.
Anybody call for a wall crawler?
Okay. This one.
Let's try it again from the top.
No, hold on, go first.
No, you gotta say from
For Cinefiles TV, I'm Tito.
Totsky.
And
It's Iron Man, we swear. It's not a cheap knockoff.
It's gotta be the next one. I'm Totsky. Fuck it.
Rapping now. What is
See you
going
next
on?
set.